Well, here's a spot of good news. Gamer sentenced to 15 months in federal prison in deadly swatting case. Hello and welcome to the Tea Party Hardy channel, where the party is just getting started. Current events looked at through a skeptical eye using science, history, and sometimes humor to explore the events of the day. Let's get down to business. This actually combines two different news stories that actually were one all along, but if you were following them in real time, you didn't know they were the same thing. I'm going to scooch you down to the end and work backwards. The case originated with a $1.50 bet between Viner and Call of Duty World War II opponent Shane Gaskill of Wichita, Kansas. Gaskill refused to pay up, and police said Viner asked Tyler Barriss, 26, to swat Gaskill. Since I'm doing this out of order, swat and swatting someone is when you call the SWAT team and tell them that something horrific is going on at an address and make them respond to it. So, he called and asked Tyler Barriss, 26, to swat Gaskill. Barris called the police in Kansas from his home in Los Angeles to give a false report of a fake shooting and kidnapping at a Wichita address assumed to be Gaskill's. Here comes the next news story that, again, if you're following it in real time, you didn't know they were overlapping. Gaskill and his family previously lived at the address but were evicted in 2016. A SWAT team showed up at the house, which at this point belonged to 28-year-old Andrew Finch. The officers believed they were dealing with a man who had shot his own father and was holding family members hostage, because this is the story that Barris had given them. An officer shot and killed Finch. Now, it's not in the story, but it happened in real time. Finch opened up the door and goes, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Whoa." And next thing you know, an officer shot and killed Finch, and his family members, who were all at the house that day, witnessed it, and they were just terrified and horrified. An officer shot and killed Finch, and his family members have sued the Wichita police. Police said they believed Finch had been reaching for a gun as he lowered his hand near his waistband. Oh my God. The amount of times that we hear that in LA for the justification of shooting. More people die of waistbands than any other cause when it comes to conflicts with cops in LA. So says me. Don't look that up. It's what it feels like. The local district attorney declined to charge the officer. Now, I will say this. I really feel sorry for that cop, because he killed an innocent man, completely innocent man, and he has to live with that. And unless he's some unhuman beast, that haunts him forever. But I'm going to follow that up with this. I feel a lot more sorry for Mr. Finch and his family. A lot more sorry. Because once again, let's go back to the other statement. 100% innocent man. All he did was answer the freaking door. That's all he did. And now we tie it back into the original story. This was because of a $1.50 freaking bet over a video game. Gaskill has struck a deal for a deferred prosecution that could allow the charges against him to be dropped. He was charged as a co-conspirator after knowingly giving Barris the same former address and taunting him to try something. Barris in April was sentenced to 20 years in prison after pleading guilty to 51 felonies nationwide, because remember, he was in LA and the other one was in Kansas. One of the highest prison sentences ever imposed for swatting. That's because it's a new thing, and I like the judge. I hope it goes away. I really, really do. Alright, now let's go back to the beginning. Now that we've gone through the horrific stuff, let's get to the good news. An Ohio gamer who recruited prankster to make a fake emergency call known as swatting that led to the fatal shooting of a Kansas man by police was sentenced to 15 months in prison on Friday, prosecutors announced. Don't think that's enough, but what you gonna do? Because he's not gonna serve 15 months. It's like the lady, what was her name? The actress who was involved in the college cheating scandal. Felicity Huffman. She got 14 days in jail. She will not serve 14 days in jail. She won't. She'll probably spend 2. Casey Viner, 19, was also ordered to pay $2,500 in restitution. I guess when you're 19 and you just sit around playing video games, that's a lot of money to you. He will have 2 years of supervised release after he leaves prison. Wait till you hear what he was bargaining for. Viner pleaded guilty in April to 1 count of conspiracy and 1 count of obstructing justice. He'd originally pleaded not guilty, but he changed his plea in exchange for a lighter sentence. As part of the plea, Viner admitted trying to hide his involvement in the December 2017 episode when he realized the antic had gotten somebody killed. Yeah, and that guy's never gonna... He doesn't get to come back. All he did was answer his door. Bad cop, bad situation, just bad. Prosecutors and defense lawyers in their plea agreement had recommended a sentence of 2 years of probation with added condition, here's where it gets ridiculous, with the added condition that Viner be confined for 6 months to his home unless he's attending school, work, or church. They also jointly recommended the gaming restriction. They wanted to ground him. This guy is involved in a situation that gets a fellow murdered for $1.50, and they wanted it to simply ground him. He could still go to church. He could still go to school. He just couldn't play video games all day long. They wanted to ground him. But U.S. District Judge Eric Melgren said a prison sentence was required to reflect the seriousness of the offense. You know, this judge and the judge with Felicity Huffman both were like, wow, good on you. It was nice what they had to say. It's foreseeable that something bad could happen by calling an armed police force to respond to what officers thought was an escalating situation of violence, he said. You know, I don't know which video games he played, but if he ever played that one, Grand Theft Auto, then he would have some idea that this stuff goes bad. Not that I've played the game, I've seen the format and I've watched other people play it. Swatting and soliciting others to swat someone are more than foolish, U.S. Attorney Stephen McAllister said in a statement. Such actions are reckless, dangerous, and this case proves potentially tragic. It wasn't actually potential in this case, it straight up was tragic. Kinetically tragic. Sorry, science kicking in. Swatting is not a prank, and it is no way to resolve disputes among gamers or anybody else. Once again, I call upon gamers to self-police their community to ensure that the practice of swatting is ended once and for all, because it did become a thing. It really did become a thing. So why am I making this video for my channel? Well, you know I watch Geeks and Gamers a lot, and he's talked about it. He's talked about this exact case several times. And I've learned from Geeks and Gamers about the other incidents of swatting, because it's not covered in my normal news batches. I mean, the guy getting killed in Kansas was. But I'm putting it out there in case any of my subscribers or viewers, and I know I don't have that many, but if any of you know any gamers, please share with them this. You don't have to share this video, but share with them the story. This kid's going to jail for 2 years, and the other one's going to jail for 20. Don't do this. It's really stupid, and it's not a video game. It's very much real life. So much real life that Mr. Finch no longer has a real life. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed the content, and if you did, feel free to like, subscribe, come on back anytime. You're always welcome here as part of the family, and we'll see you in the future.